Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and having learned quite a few things from, through, and from within human interactions, and having pursued and completed my master's in business administration and in clinical psychology, I today wish to share some food for thoughts or some foods for thoughts. So, just a few weeks back, I was listening to this podcast wherein somebody had beautifully shared and beautifully said that we all have free will, and prayer is a very direct representation of that free will. And the thought had been further elaborated when it was specified that when you're praying before God, whatever your idea of God might be, whatever name you call that God by, whatever your idea of that higher power might be, in a way, that higher power is also then saying that you have the right to ask for your desires, for your needs, for your wants. That you have the right to ask for anything that you possibly can think of. And in a way beautifully personally conveyed to me that had prayer not been a form, not been a language through which we could ask for our wishes, our desires to be fulfilled, nature would not have provided that to us in the first place. In a way, through another perspective, through another lens, and thereby through another mindset, it also told me that if we understand prayer in this manner, that we have a free will to ask for anything from that God or that higher power or from the universe, from the source energy, that higher power, that God is also wanting to serve us in the highest manner possible, is also wanting to provide his services, her services, or their services to us in the highest manner possible, only if we have the capacity to receive what we have asked for. If we have been given the free will to choose it and to ask for it, it also needs to be said in the universal language. And if we look at the word universe and understand it through the lens of physics, it quite literally is stating universe. Uni meaning one and verse meaning a verse. So it has to be one verse. It cannot have a sense of internal conflict. It cannot have a sense of internal disintegration, of internal divide when we ask for something from the universe in the form of a prayer. So if we understand universe, one verse, universe, in a way it's quite literally telling us that our unconscious, our subconscious, and our conscious should be asking for that one thing, one verse, universe. It should be speaking from that one verse, shifting the lens a little and making it a little more tangible. Like Martha Beck would say, your body, your heart, your voice, your throat, your brain, your mind, and your soul should speak one verse. It has to be universe, without any internal disintegration, without any internal conflict, to be delivered to you in one whole intact piece. And in a way, our prayer has to come from that sense of universe. It's only when we speak from that sense of universe, wherein there is no internal split, no internal conflict, no internal disintegration, does the universe, the outside universe, delivers our prayers to us, delivers our desires to us. Wherein, taking the example of the movie PK, if PK were to put it, he would say, जो सोचते हो, जो बोलते हो, जो महसूस करते हो, जो एक्शन में पुट करते हो, वो सारा एक ही होना चाहिए. उसको तोड़ मरोड़ के बोलोगे तो वो तोड़ मरोड़ के ही मिलेगा, या शायद टूटे टूटे टुकड़ों में मिलेगा. And if I were to translate that into English, PK would actually be telling us, the alien character from the movie PK would actually be telling us that whatever you think, whatever you say, whatever you feel, and whatever you put into action has to be one and the same thing. It has to be one whole, integrated thing. It's only when it's one whole, integrated thing. It's only when it's one whole, integrated desire or a wish that is spoken, that comes out as prayer, will it only be received as one whole thing. Otherwise, you might receive it in very twisted formats or in very disintegrated, crumbling formats also. You might get pieces of that one whole thing, fragments of that one whole thing. But till that wish and that desire asked in the form of prayer is asked from a place of wholeness and wholesomeness, it naturally cannot be delivered from the place of wholeness and wholesomeness. If it is asked from a fragmented, disintegrated, conflicted inner self, it will only be delivered and received in crumbling, broken, disintegrated, fragmented ways. So the first food for thought is that we all have free will, and prayer is a direct representation of free will, because the universe, the nature in itself, is telling us, ask and you shall receive. The second food for thought that I personally received through this message was that God or that higher power is there to serve us, is there to listen to us in the ways in which we have asked that desire, that want, that aspiration to be fulfilled. And if we have asked for that in fragmented ways, in disintegrated ways, in conflicted ways internally, it will be given to us as fragments, as pieces. And if we have asked for it, if we have prayed for it in very wholesome, intact ways, it will be delivered to us in very wholesome, intact ways. And the next food for thought that again was shared by Peter Crone, the mind architect, who in one of his conversations with somebody had said that I can't give you anything that you already internally don't have. I can probably only make you realize that you have it within yourself, but I can't give something to you that you already don't have, that you already don't possess internally. And he went on to elaborate that by specifying, by giving the details, that if somebody triggers you in unpleasant ways, wherein you get upset or wherein you get angry, and either you charge back at them with equal ferocity, or you withdraw and shut down and disengage from them, disconnect from them, they have just revealed what is already existing inside of you. And maybe to some degree you were aware of it, and maybe to some degree you were in denial of it. But it could not have been brought out had it not been there in the first place. And likewise, if you experience something pleasant, you share something pleasant with somebody, or just out in the nature itself or within your own home, and you find yourself feeling more relaxed, less restless, being more compassionate with others and with yourself, more loving, more caring, and more lovingly attentive. The other person or people, the environment, your home, whatever brought that pleasantness within you, at least the way you experienced it, was already inside of you. For had it not been inside of you, had it not been within you, it could never have been brought out. And if I could physically demonstrate it just as a symbolic representation to give the idea of this concept, the perfume bottle that I hold in my hand would spray out perfume, would bring out this fragrance only because this bottle, this container, had the fragrance within it. Had it been empty, had there been no perfume within it, how much ever I would have pressed the nozzle, the perfume would not have come out. It is only because the perfume is there inside of this bottle that it did come out. In a similar way, this bottle has some kind of an oil, some kind of a liquid. So when I pour it on my palms, because it is inside of this, can I see it on my palms? Can I rub it and feel it on my palms? For had it not been within this container, within this bottle, in whole integrated ways, I would not have been able to pour it out in the first place, then to be able to rub it on my palms in the second place. And in a way, what I got from Peter Crone, the mind architect, when he was saying that I cannot give you anything that you don't have within yourself, maybe those are the points when we should stop and reflect a bit, even thank that outside source a bit, to be able to reveal to us what is already present there within us, so that we don't brush it aside and are not in denial of it. Because only when we can accept all of those parts, all of those aspects within ourselves, whether pleasant or whether seemingly unpleasant, without necessarily acting out on them all the time, we'll not only realize that probably the whole of humanity is contained within us, and we'll also come to a place wherein self-acceptance in wholesome ways becomes a lot more possible, becomes more realistic. And only when we can accept ourselves wholly and completely can we think of even loving ourselves wholly and completely. So let's give those foods for thoughts that prayer is a direct indication of free will. And I can't give you anything. Probably I can only bring it out. Probably I can only reveal it. But even when it comes up, when it's revealed, it's already inside of you. So once again, I can't give you anything that you don't already have within you, as said by Peter Crone, the mind architect. Let's reflect on those thoughts in as many ways as we possibly can. And if you do come up with some more perspectives, some more insights through those thoughts, please feel free to add in the comments. So let's take out a little time to reflect on that, to learn from that, and to share from that. And I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.